Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane, and we're straight back to Langres after a short detour through Angerville. Apparently Langres is where everything is happening as of late. Don't know why. But we shall be going on with this, although a quick service announcement before this: when you're sending in games, of course, feel free to, of course, do so. I don't mind. Ask politely if I would like to cast them, perhaps give some details, length, all that. If you want some advice afterwards, for example, if you know, don't cast it, that's fine. But don't act like you're asking sort of commission of me, that you're the Pope and I'm Michelangelo and you're somehow expecting me to sort of make a masterwork out of it. It's not how it works. I don't just sort of cast on command. Some people do seem to have a bit of an odd time understanding that. In particular, one chap seems to have never heard from again at all after I sort of didn't want to cast his brilliant game. I mean, fair enough. I mean, you all like your games. I respect that, but there's one thing: that's a game was good and not you had fun playing it. Trouble is, it also has to be fun looking at. That's where the key comes in, because those two can be quite different. So again, I'm not Michelangelo, nor are you the Pope asking me for giving me a commission. Keep that in mind. So let us go have a look at our opponents. In the northern corner we are seeing Helpinghans. Yes, it is a friendly Helpinghans of the 2nd Panzer Division. And who shall he be fighting? It shall be XcomReborn. XcomReborn, I believe, is a rather good player of the Americans' 4th Infantry Division. And let's get right down to this. Having a slightly busy schedule for tonight, having to cast this game for tomorrow. That's sort of how I run. Then I process it in the morning, and then in the afternoon I put it up. Sort of gives me time in case if something goes pear-shaped or I'm having trouble sort of deciding. But then again, university is beginning for me, which rather means I have to sort of be a bit quick about it, since I don't have the time in the morning to actually cast another game. I have to be at university. Go figure. Wehrmacht quarters going up. Helping hands, helping pioneers, helping each other. How helpful. That was quite the alliteration. And engineers sending out for each other's side, though not helping each other. How rude. Barracks going up, though. Shall we be seeing a jeep or shall we be seeing riflemen? Although I think I can give an 90% guarantee that it's going to be riflemen. Although it would be a bit sad then if I turned out to be wrong. Haven't had much time to actually check through this replay. I rather got it quickly, and then I've sort of off to look, off to see if there was something fun about it, and cast it. Volksgrenadiers hitting the field, probably in this case representing either some Ersatz Panzergrenadieren, could be some Luftwaffe security troops, Ostbataillon troops, who knows, a lot of things, a lot of low quality troops, which was rather one of the interesting features of the Wehrmacht. It actually sort of graded their troops and graded their divisions in terms of what they could actually expect of them, and sort of things like that. Volksgrenadiers also in the actual war were sort of low quality troops. They were sort of imagined by the not really realistic Himmler, sort of the modern infantry division, the equivalent to the Guards, but of course more realistic Wehrmacht commanders sort of figured they're probably only going to be mostly good as defensive infantry. Of course they will be thrown in to less defensive position. There we go, first fight. Volksgrenadiers close to the house though, and apparently they make the race, taking up position here, able to fire down on the riflemen who are out in the open. Shots flying down from the windows. This is not a happy day for riflemen. MG42 on the way, and engineers pushing to continue towards the west. Pioneers moving in as well. Riflemen, no, engineers sticking very close to the sort of far right. That's actually an interesting movement, not a bad one. Can certainly be used if you want to sort of get a flank position, but no, Helpinghans puts a stop to it, which is very helpful. Volksgrenadiers and their very helpful bullets, although probably not so helpful to the Americans, but very helpful to the Wehrmacht, and that's what counts in the Propagandacast. Mein Herr. And Volksgrenadiers advancing. What will we see now? A Schwimmwagen. That's certainly quite interesting. Certainly fits in with sort of the Panzer Division. They would probably have more Schwimmwagens, of course, for the reconnaissance units and such. More mobile and speedy, since they could actually cross water, try to cross a river with a Kugelwagen, and you're probably going to have to watch it sink. Volksgrenadiers coming under fire. MG42 standing up in a nice position, although let's just briefly pause, and I'll try to keep the pausing short, of course, since I've been on a time schedule here. You want to put them on the right side of the fence. On the wrong side, it's not going to do much. Some light cover is non-directional, some is. Fences are. That is all. But catching these riflemen out in negative cover, that's actually pretty bad for the riflemen. They're of course easier to hit, easier to damage, and easier to suppress. But riflemen are moving in, flanking, my goodness. And Helpinghans, MG42 turns about. Volksgrenadiers moving in to stop those riflemen in their face. And the MG42 does not. But what is this? Schwimmwagen to the rescue. The Allies may have the Jeep, but we have the Schwimmwagen. And the riflemen cower inside their tiny little house while the Wehrmacht shifts about. And what's he going to do? He'll be covering this approach. Good job there. While the riflemen will be forced to get out there to actually do something against the Wehrmacht. And the Schwimmwagen turns... Yes, there we go. Turns about. Opening up on the riflemen and Volksgrenadiers as well. 2 riflemen going down to the dreaded Schwimmwagen. Terror of the Allied forces. Bringer of doom. Crosser of lakes, rivers and puddles. And the other riflemen are getting pinned down again, my goodness. And oh dear, rifleman team going down so early, my goodness. 3 kills for the Schwimmwagen already. Hip hip hooray for the Schwimmwagen. And Pioneers going for this strategic cutoff point, very nasty. And have also gone for this fuel point to sort of cut it off. Good job there. Getting gunned down, and my apologies for not sort of going through the map, but again, sort of shortness of time. And I figure I might get away with it this time, you know. Otherwise being good at it. What is else going on? No infantry. In fact, oh wait, there we go, more Volksgrenadiers, but they're taking up positions here, apparently confident that the Schwimmwagen MG Volksgrenadier combo can win against everything. Certainly a bit rare you see a Schwimmwagen do that much so early on. Riflemen getting suppressed, not looking good. We are seeing a medic station going up awfully close to the hot spot right there. Schwimmwagen charges in. Volksgrenadiers really moving in as well. Riflemen moving in from the flank. Oh dear, another rifleman team might go down. No, it barely makes out of there. Barely, or does it? Yes, it does. Medics quickly moving in to pick up the wounded Americans, those who are not died. Engineers moving in, could be with flamethrowers. That could certainly prove to be a very nasty undoing. And riflemen moving in from the rear, but no, Volksgrenadiers put a stop to that rather quickly. And I hope Fraps decides, yes, indeed, to stick to the approved frame of rate, or rate of frames, whatever. Not the sort of slow one where you can't really see what's going on. Snipers now running on the field, and there we go. Flamethrowers scorching Volksgrenadiers. Riflemen moving in from the north. Rather good, trying to turn this into a sort of... Yes, there we go. Heavy losses for the Wehrmacht, turning the tide. Good show there from XcomReborn, turning a dangerous pin into a rather big rout for Helpinghans. Even when the Schwimmwagen is forced to get out of there through the rows of corn. And apparently 1 rifleman was lost, but now they're charging forwards once more. Medics pulling in the wounded. Almost ready with another rifleman team. Sniper opening up, getting 1 Schwimmwagen. Driving it for its life. Apparently not. It seems to be taking a bit of a curious route. Pioneers taking this point, equipped with a flamethrower. My goodness. Sniper doing his best, getting a rifleman right in the face, right in front of them. But no, this could be his undoing, his arrogance, his... No, apparently he makes it out of there. Pioneers, though, also make it out of there. But MG42 now setting up. Riflemen are awfully bunched up. Get out there, riflemen. Get out there. Or do they have some sort of clever plan? Perhaps a grenade? No. They will have to get out of there very quickly. There we go. But the MG42 also runs, and then everybody runs, except the Volksgrenadiers, the Pioneers, and the Schwimmwagen, which now moves in for the kill once more. The evil, vicious Schwimmwagen swimming through.
We are losing ground.
And we are seeing a supplier going up, and a motor pool. Yes, indeed, a rather bold movement there. Having done quite a bit of damage, pushing back, Helpinghans, less helpful troops. And now the Schwimmwagen pushes onwards once more. Engineers doing their best to hold it back. But now Volksgrenadiers are advancing to support the noble Schwimmwagen. Hiccup. Motor pool coming up. All nice and dandy. Volksgrenadiers. Oh, that was poorly timed. And what is this? We are in fact seeing a creek barracks going up. This could rather end up putting a stop to Mr. XcomReborn's M8 or T17 or half-track. Of course, Mr. Helpinghans could sort of figure out that was going to happen. Why is that, you say? Why is that, I say? Because there are no BARs for that riflemen, no grenades, and of course you can't see there are any sticky bombs, of course, but he's probably going to be assuming there's not going to be that either. Setting up barbed wire to sort of protect any sort of direct approaches, not a bad idea. Also setting up to deny cover. Riflemen going on a longer route, some not fully reinforced though, that's could end up badly. Mines being laid down. Observation post going down here on the only high munitions point, that's actually a bit interesting. Rarely you see that. Not a bad idea though. Certainly not a bad idea. Could be useful for perhaps some airborne tactics, or perhaps artillery, though then again you usually see lots of munitions being used when there's sort of airborne things in the sky, called planes. And the MG42 opens up, and Helpinghans has been laying down some mines. Riflemen, oh dear, those are the very low health ones, need to get out of there. Run, riflemen, run. Potentially if you're someone having force. No, they apparently take the point, which of course decreases line of sight, and Blitzkrieg has gone up. The 2nd Panzer Division now getting aid from the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Division, Götz von Berlichingen. And Rifleman getting sniped in the face. The worst place to get sniped, since you generally don't survive. And the sniper, no, the medic gets sniped, yes. Not the sniper getting sniped by the medic. Volksgrenadiers marching about. Schwimwagen still in the center. Nothing coming out of that. Wait, there we go. Something out of the motor pool. And there we go. The Pak 38 Panzerabwehrkanone 38 is ready. Riflemen engineers hanging about in the west, far west. Medic still moving in. And apparently Helpinghans is rather expecting the movement to come from here, but of course already XcomReborn is setting up for a blow in the south. Now that most of the things are there, but no, and now the MG42 is up. But of course the M8 is ready. Greyhound dashing in, although preferably might want to get some skirts up, but no, going to batter through those barbed wires, since of course they are no obstacle for the M8 with its wheels. Yes indeed, wheels, the bane of barbed wire everywhere, and of course a decent chassis with a bit of weight behind it. Armored skirts are up, this is good, and my goodness, the Pak 38, if he discovers and flanks it, no! Helpinghans has realized it, and apparently XcomReborn has also realized he might be a bit exposed. Stormtroopers now being called into the field, the 17th SS providing some of its crack Stormtroopers, SS Panzergrenadieren. Volksgrenadiers out in there, and shots being fired at the M8 armored car, but is laying down a mine. Panzerfaust going to be used at the M8, oh! No, it makes it out of there. Rifleman getting suppressed, no! A hit! And the engine is damaged, but it makes it way past the barbed wire and might be making out. Volksgrenadiers retreating straight into the mine, losing a few. Schwimwagen is lost to a mine here. Mines being laid down everywhere. Medics pulling in. Still not really able to reconstitute an infantry team. And looks like further efforts might be focused in the south, where there of course is little less. Stormtroopers being equipped with panzer tracks. And let's go a look at XcomReborn. What is he up to? No doctrine as of yet. Riflemen and Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers sneaking about in the west. MG42 setting up there. The other one is nowhere to be seen. M8 getting repaired, but it is apparently impatient and can't wait to actually get repaired fully. And this observation post is coming under a bit of fire, actual fire, but the M8, the Greyhound, dashes in. Will it be in time, or will the poor defenseless observation post be a goner, be doomed to go to observation post heaven? Of course there isn't one. All observation post goes to hell. Volksgrenadiers securing the eastern strategic point. Riflemen, that is, did I say Volksgrenadiers? Oh dear. Riflemen advancing right here while Volksgrenadiers are taking the western fuel point, really keeping the fuel away from the Americans. More M8s on the way. Going to keep up the speed here. Riflemen running straight into an MG42. Medic packs being equipped by the ever helpful Hans. Helpinghans. And looks like engineers are making ready for movement here. But a mine! A mine! Kaboom! One engineer goes down, the other two are awfully wounded. They're going to need more than just a band-aid. The others are apparently beginning to repair this observation post, perhaps. That would not be a bad idea, in fact. And Riflemen securing the western fuel point once more. Upgrade number 1 for the supply yard underway. Good, good. Engineers coming under fire, might be lost. There we go. Further stormtroopers arriving. The 17th SS really being called in to provide as many panzer grenades as possible. Of course, a panzer grenadier division would have quite a few of those. I believe it would be around 2 to 3 regiments No, 2 regiments actually. So that's not bad. That's quite a few. And the 2nd Panzer Division will of course have more of the panzers, so they'll be able to provide their SS Panzer Grenadiers with that. And Volksgrenadiers doing a bit of repairs on the barbed wire line, laying down some fresh barbed wire. Fresh from the great barbed wire factories in Munich. Oh well, I don't know if there were any there. MH ready, and a rifleman team is finally reconstituted from the medic station. A small victory from XcomReborn. Riflemen sneaking about in the west. No infantry weapons though, no BARs, no sticky bombs, no grenades. Snipers sniping away at the riflemen, although flanking the MG42. Another that's full stormtroopers with Panzer X. Opening up on the riflemen. Oh dear, and veteranship 1 for infantry. Stormtroopers knocking out one rifleman with a Panzer X shot. And there we go, M8 dashing in, 50 calibers blazing, MG42 getting a few riflemen, Stormtroopers getting gunned down. Pack 38 quickly advancing towards the west. Riflemen getting stopped in the east. M8s moving away from the west as well. Point repaired. Weapon support center at this stage might actually do XcomReborn a bit of good, might be able to bombard or at least put down a smoke screen to sort of allow him to sort of more easily break through and get past the first line of defense. That would just be my sort of opinion. Could be wrong here. And Helpinghans, rather realizing he rather likes to stick to the sort of edge, lays down a mine. Good show there. And medic makes medics out of there. Panzer X flying and shot through the back. A less than helpful defeat. Rifleman getting ready for something once more. Supply yard upgrade number 1 is ready. Of course, increases veterancy as well, besides decreasing upkeep. Or at least increases the rate of veterancy, more specifically. Making a push towards the east, it seems. No? West? North? M8s blasting away, getting a few Volksgrenadiers there. Snipe. No, Volksgrenadiers. Although sneaking about those stormtroopers with their Panzerschreck. One false move and they might get gunned down. And Rifleman making a move right there in the middle of everything. And we looks like we have infantry coming up for XcomReborn. That means artillery, of course. If used correctly, can do quite a bit. And stormtroopers are caught out in the open. Makes a run for it. One goes down. Oh dear. And looks like artillery is being called down somewhere. Where should it be? Right on the MG42, clearing up the central path for infantry. Riflemen pushing in the west, coming straight into a mine and an MG42. Bit unfortunate. Mines going off somewhere, I think. Sniper still sniping away though. M8's not looking too good. Might have to be careful that doesn't run into a pack. Lots of infantry, lots of stormtroopers getting reinforced. Volksgrenadiers sneaking about as well. No veterancy for the support infantry. That will at least increase the accuracy of the MG42s, which is also nice. Always, in fact. Taking back this strategic point. This munitions point going into American hands, but the central victory point is still German in the hands of the 2nd Panzer Division with support from elements of the 17th SS. Stormtroopers, Volksgrenadiers once more marching out. What's going on in the American base? Not an awful lot else. All very quiet. And apparently a howitzer will be prepared. This is of course not the most unusual thing to do. Of course, get a normal map howitzer, blast the snot out of the Wehrmacht or the Panzer Elite, whatever. As long as snot is blown to bits. Or bits are being blown into snot. And I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. It shall be a bit brief. Currently, the sort of map is sort of slightly in the advantage of the Americans, holding a bit more, but at the same time, though, the Germans do hold the central victory point. They do hold a strong position. Medic bunker up. Lots of troops, stormtroopers sneaking about, sort of secretly. Pack also a bit of a secret. Although the east is quite open, and a sort of attempt at breaking through here could actually do quite a bit. Although then again, with one MG42 missing, there's a slight increased chance of actually breaking through. But then again, looks like a replacement has been sent in. Quickly, actually. But I think the key to victory here for XcomReborn lies in actually outmaneuvering, of course, breaking through where Helpinghans is. And of course, question is, will we be doing that, or will we be going for the usual good old hammer hard approach? And of course, if he's going for the howitzer, he's probably going to be going for that. What will Helpinghans need to do? Of course, he needs to hold the line, and he needs to push on much. He needs to perhaps press through here and here as well, and perhaps also here. But then again, he's sort of managed to fence himself in as well. Lots of barbed wire, but that sort of also limits its own maneuverability, and that's sort of the thing you have to be careful when laying down barbed wire and tank traps, that you don't actually end up pinning yourself in, limiting your own abilities to sort of react and act. Returning to the fight quickly. And looks like we will be seeing a breakthrough in the south. Mines, we were being chosen, that's a good job there actually. Helpinghans, of course, ever helpful with the mines. MG42 turning out, rifleman charging right ahead. Not sure what they intend to do. Perhaps to spot out the pack and just run away. And what does Helpinghans do? Well, of course, he does the clever thing. He actually moves it away, probably suspecting that Mr. XcomReborn will actually be trying to sort of spot it out for artillery. And of course, if he keeps it in the same spot, well, eventually it's going to hit. On the other hand, if he moves it to another spot, it's going to be less likely. And oh dear, a suicide round with the rifleman. Losing a team, that's very unfortunate. But riflemen do manage to break through in these. A bundle grenade going at the rifleman, killing 3. Oh dear, bundle grenades, of course, being a bit of a World War I tactic, but still a decent one. In fact, a good one. Nothing quite like a huge bundle of explosives at the enemy. Always does the trick. M8 looks like to be joining in the breakthrough in the south. Engineers still cutting through barbed wire, taking points. And securing this point, in fact. And there we go. The on-map howitzers ready, opening up. Firing away at the medic bunker. Oh dear, stormtroopers running right past it, but no, they've managed to get out of there safely. Engineers getting scorched by pioneers. Riflemen under a bit of fire. Pack firing away. Something got blown to tiny bits. The garage, surprisingly enough, is still standing, although barely. And I've usually seen it go down to even a shot, and then it somehow managed to survive all this artillery. Curse and Helpinghans immediately begins repairs of the bunker, pouring on fresh concrete, putting on band-aids, something. Not entirely sure how you actually repair a concrete bunker. But then again, that's not really my line of expertise. Artillery being going in on these false grenades right here. Veterancy 2 now up. Mines being hit. Rather heavy mining from the both sides, which is actually not a bad thing. And of course, XcomReborn rather realizing that and getting minesweepers, although Helpinghans doesn't really seem to be nearly as keen. Howitzer might soon be firing again. M8's not really managed to do much due to the threat of the Pack 38, which is now actually moving towards the west, actually leaving the central area quite open to it. And what is this? Stormtroopers double Panzerschreck getting ready to put down a sneaky assault on the howitzer. And let's return to Helpinghans. M8's holding the line here. Stormtroopers coming under heavy fire, while the others are sneaking in very closely. Riflemen are nearby, though if they decide to move towards the east, this could be the end for the Stormtroopers, or at least they might not be able to deliver their payload onto the... Oh dear, there we go, and M8's also getting close. Bundle grenade being thrown instead. No, the riflemen aren't really realizing what's going on, and the howitzer is blown to bits. That was quite unfortunate. A bit too slow there on XcomReborn's side. And the M8s don't really manage to do anything due to sort of timidity on the owner's side, and not really sure what to do with them, of course, due to the Pack and the Panzerschrecks. On the same, I'd say it's better to use them than rather than just have them sort of be there for show. False grenadiers coming under fire, trying to take this observation post down. They are getting taken down themselves. In fact, down to one man. The M8s gleefully blasting away. MG42 team forced to run away. Medics moving in to pick up a wounded pioneer, it looks like.
We are losing territory.
A rather aggressive movement in the east, actually, although might be counterattacked soon by Volksgrenadiers and all other sorts of nasty business. Panzer Command going up. Oh dear. With only M8s to sort of act as a deterrent, that might actually end up very badly unless he gets Rangers. No, he's getting a tank depot himself. My goodness.
Attention. The enemy advances.
And now going for the central victory point as well. Helpinghans has in fact been rather pushed back by all of these attacks on breaking through on all sides. Of course, always the key to sort of keep up the maneuver. Don't let yourself sort of be bogged down into just attacking in one spot. And now at the same time though, the pack is right here, of course. XcomReborn isn't quite aware of that, and that's rather his problem. Otherwise, he could be using those M8s a lot more freely and be doing a lot more damage.
We are losing ground.
Someone is hitting mines, I think. But I can't see who. There we go. Riflemen advancing. Pioneers doing their best, scorching them, shooting them. And once more an attempt here in the west. Stormtroopers, in fact, but M8s are moving in. And they're immediately under fire. 50 calibers and 37mm guns blazing. Stormtroopers running, some not surviving. But looks like Helpinghans was once more securing and reasserting himself in the center. Sturmhaubitze have also been made ready. I might soon be getting some armor or some Knights Cross holders, who knows. But the 4th Infantry Division isn't really doing too well. M8 sort of still sneaking about, skulking in the background, and we are seeing an M4 Sherman. This could turn out to be really nasty for Helpinghans. That's certainly going to be helping with a breakthrough, which is rather what I'm expecting XcomReborn is sort of intending to do. Good show there. Stormtroopers out in the open. Sherman opens up, 50 caliber ready as well. Dual Panzerjets flying, and oh dear, that Sherman missed. That was a bit unfortunate. Mines being set up there to sort of protect against any future Stormtroopers sneaking in, I suspect. Sherman getting repaired. Volksgrenadiers taking the eastern point. XcomReborn still pushing at all sides, getting stopped a bit by MG42s though. Volksgrenadiers running, getting gunned down. More armor on the way, I suspect. And looks like we will be seeing a Panther. Probably since, yes, indeed, he has seen a Sherman, and for that, a Panther does excel. And he does have a lot of infantry, in fact. Or at least not enough. Quite a lot of Pioneers, though. 4 Pioneer teams. Sherman advances. Stormtroopers ready. So unleash a Panzerjet barrage. Fusillade. There we go. But all shots deflect. Actually, that was a bit unfortunate. Sherman still missing widely. So far not managing any kills. M8's not really doing anything to support, though they could sort of be charging in from the west. Open up on more of these troops and really do their best. In this case, a bit of volume would actually do the trick, I suspect, but that doesn't really seem to be figuring into his plans. Nothing out of the tank depot, perhaps it has been cancelled. Nothing coming out of there. Riflemen getting suppressed, engineers as well. And looks like the M8's actually doing something. Stormtroopers once more sneaking in on the Sherman. Upgunned, in fact. That was apparently what he wanted. Apparently expecting some sort of armor to arrive from the Germans as well. Not a bad idea, but at the same time. And there we go. M8's just charging in, gunning down an MG42 team. Artillery blasting away. Panther moving in, knocking out the first M8 pack, also firing away. Will the M8 number 2 make it out there? Apparently the Panther also misses. No, it gets hit now. Makes a beeline towards his own base through the mines, covering, and oh dear, and there we go. Damaged engine on both. Sherman pulling back, taking heavy damage from the Stormtroopers. Riflemen forcing away in the west. Grenadiers reformed.
We are losing ground.
But not looking too good otherwise. Rifleman getting gunned down. Out in the open. And running now from this rather large Wehrmacht force. Engineer sneaking in from behind though, and then not managing to do anything. Bit unfortunate. Americans not doing too well. Sort of bogged it down when they shouldn't have. Apparently the sniper was actually still around. I haven't heard from him in quite some time, and then it just decides to join in once more. Anti-tank are now advancing, ready to stop the threat of the Panther, although might be a bit too late now that the two M8s were lost. Seems to be more of a cautious stance now. Panther advancing, no armor veterans on the way, no, instead veterans 3 for the infantry. Rifleman out in the open against the Panther fires away. The 2nd Panzer Division was able to provide some of its heavier armor elements. The 17th SS would only have been able to actually provide some assault guns in the form of Stugs, since Panzer Grenadier divisions were only supposed to have a Panzer battalion rather than a regiment, which does of course mean a lot less armor. Was it less than that actually? Oh dear, I can't remember. My apologies. But it certainly was a lot less. Less. Sherman getting repaired. Stormtroopers advancing, opening up on the observation post.
Heavy assault forces ready. Deploy at your convenience.
Grenadiers hitting a mine, losing one it seems. Sherman coming under fire. Stormtroopers themselves also coming under fire. Might soon maybe very actual fire. Scorching away from the building. Will the Stormtroopers make it? Yes indeed, looks like it. Now others are sneaking in behind enemy lines. For what purpose though, I have no idea. Artillery being called in somewhere, perhaps hoping to knock out the Panther, but sadly doesn't do much. Stormtroopers now discovered right in front of the machine gun emplacement, getting suppressed and running. German forces pushing onwards west, knocking out the observation post there as well. It certainly looks like Mr. XcomReborn has been pushed completely into his base.
Our opponent has 200 points.
Not looking too well at all. Rifleman running straight into the line of fire of the MG-42. Sherman also coming under fire, blasting away. Not really managing a lot this game though. Killing a Volksgrenadier there. Engineers lost. Tiger might soon be called in to really close the deal. The Sherman holds the line while the rest retreats, then pulling out itself. Medic still pulling in the wounded. And the Panther sneaks in from behind, and now Volksgrenadiers and Stormtroopers moving in from all sides. Panther taking quite a bit of fire, armor piercing rounds opening up. Gunner killed on the Sherman. Oh dear. Veterancy 1 on the Sherman, increasing speed. That's also going to be a help. But how much of a help I can't say by this stage, although probably not much. And anti-tank gun is probably going to be knocked out soon. Rifleman lost over here where the engineers, it was engineers in fact. MG-42 up here, and there we go. Tiger on the way. Sherman number 2 out actually. Interesting. Tiger might be moving into a mine, no. Quite effective hit against the Rifleman. Panther once more charging hit, and a mine goes off, damaging its engine. Sherman moves in, opens up on the Panther, doing a bit of damage, but not enough. Sherman himself is taking quite a bit of damage. And This is not looking good for the Americans, certainly not. The 2nd Panzer Division now pushes onwards. Veteran Sherman not looking to be a happy customer very soon. The Tiger moving in for the kill. Riflemen also advancing. Might they have sticky bombs, might they not. Sherman moving in, hoping to get off a few rear shots on the Tiger. And Riflemen are rather clumped up. And a sticky bomb goes off on the Panther. Veterans have won for armor now as well. My goodness. Damaged engine. Sherman's advancing. All quiet and really looks to be the death throes of the Americans. And my apologies for the sort of silence, just got lost in my thoughts. Tiger charging in. I'd certainly say this is game over for the American. Not a lot left for the 4th Infantry Division. Its Shermans are in flames. Infantry dead. Everything else blown to bits. And there you go, game over. A victory for Helpinghans and the 2nd Panzer Division with 8 from the 17th SS. There you go. And what can we learn from this? Well, we did see some good usage of mines on both sides, but rather what seemed to be Mr. XcomReborn's problem was rather maneuvering, sort of keeping up the pressure, which he sort of helped at the same time, though it was a bit too late, while Helpinghans was only growing stronger. And he could probably have been done well with a mortar to actually sort of soften up German positions, perhaps some grenades, perhaps BARs. But neither seemed to materialize. And the M8s didn't really get to fore either as well, which was rather unfortunate as well. Helpinghans, of course, on the other hand, did well with mines, barbed wire, sort of keeping up the pressure in his own way. Doing well with stormtroopers and other such things. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. If you do want to subscribe, tell your friends. And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial saying cheers.